Hello, in this video I'm going to go over a DPS build that I have created for the night market that uses no trials gear. Uh, this is intended to be running around solo, uh, basically amongst the herd type of thing. Um, so let's get into it. I am calling this build the All Blades No Bubblegum build. So we're going to go over the classes really quickly. I'm using Gravelords from the Necromancer, the Dawn's Wrath skill from Templar, and Storm Calling from the Sorcerer. So the gear sets that I'm wearing, on the front bar, I have the Master's Perfected Maul. This is sharpened, and this is to increase my penetration. If you look over to the right-hand side, unbuffed, I'm sitting at about 9,600 penetration. If I include Major Breach with the Graveyard skill here, um, and that activates the penetration from the Gravelords as well. So it gets to almost 13, as you can see there. If you add another almost 6, then you're over the penetration cap. So this really helps to absolutely clean through some mobs. So what I'll do is I'll go into the settings here for the battle scrolls, and I'm going to enable the night market to be tracked, and then I'm going to just double check and make sure that it will record trash fights. Okay. Uh, Now, I'm not going to say that this is good enough to solo a boss like this here, but if you're looking to do the side quests in the district and those things, you can just get past these types of mobs here, no problem, as I'll show you here in just a minute when we go into the lower part here. But I have a kind of a different looking build here. Let me pull up my armory and we'll look at it that way. It's a little bit easier to show all the stuff on one screen. So as you can see, the skills there and the attributes, 64 points into Magicka. The Master's sharpened two-handed maul with an Oblivion damage glyph on there. Then I've got infused weapon damage lightning staff of Gerency's Bladestorm. This is an insanely good set, really easy to proc. All you have to do is lay something on the ground and you get an absolute massive spike vortex to just chew through enemies. Another good reason this is a good set is because it gives you some extra penetration, as you can see. Really helpful for in here to have extra penetration so that you can kind of run on your own and not really rely on a tank to debuff the enemies for you. You can pretty much be at the penetration cap on this build. Then I've got a one-piece Orpheon the Tactician just to increase weapon damage on the build. This is a medium. By the way, these are all stamina glyphs on the armor pieces. I'm in all medium armor, by the way. And then this right here, the next set, the Azure Blight Reaper. This is the reason why you want to run around solo in this for two reasons. One, we're using the Pale Order Ring, but two, Azure Blight Reaper. This right here is going to be the secret weapon for the night market. If you can get a bunch of people to run around ungrouped with this right here, you are absolutely going to mow down the mobs in this place. It's insane how powerful this is when you're on your own, especially if you get a lot of dots going. Everything clustered up, it's going to explode and you're going to rip through the stuff. I will show that here towards the end of the video, how quickly this stuff just absolutely just gets cleaned. So I have Azure Blight on the body so that it's always active regardless of what bar. You don't want to have this single barred so you lose the chance of getting Blight seed stacks. You want to put this active at all times. So I put this on the body pieces. I've got it on the chest, the shoulders, the gloves, the legs, and the boots. And then I have a belt of Gerency's. And then my other two pieces for Gerency's on the front bar are the jewelry and the ring here. All of my jewelry is bloodthirsty with weapon damage glyphs. All divines armor with stamina glyphs, and then, as I said, sharpened with a Oblivion damage Titan or Titanic Cleave Maul. This comes from Dragonstar Arena if you're looking for that. If you don't have the perfected version, that just means you don't get that extra penetration as shown on the screen there. So let's go into the champion points. As you can see, I've got Boundless Vitality, Fortified, Spirit Mastery, and Bloody Renewal. Because of our spammable giving us a shield, if you're truly running by yourself, you could switch out Spirit Mastery for Bastion, and then that shield that you get from your spammable on this build would be even bigger. So just a real choice there to figure out. Bloody Renewal, you might, depending on how you're running, you might need to switch out to siphoning spells. This is kind of a cattywampus build in a way where Magicka is a little bit hard to sustain. I've got quite a few Magicka spells on here, so it can be a little bit difficult to sustain those, so just keep that in mind. But let's go through the skills here. We'll finish the champion points. We've got Biting Aura, Master at Arms, Thaumaturg, and Wrathful Strikes. And then we've got Boundless Vitality, Fortified, Spirit Mastery, and Bloody Renewal, as I said. So now we'll go into the skills. Front bar, I have Gravelord's Sacrifice. This is here to increase damage over time, as well as the damage of Necromancer skills. So there's a lot of damage over time on this build, so this is going to give you another 15% increased damage done to damage over time. Then we have Detonating Siphon slotted on the front bar. This gives you an easy to cast, free to cast source of Major Savagery and Prophecy. It also does a ton of damage when you activate it. It explodes when it ends, so there's a lot of benefit to this. Our spammable on the build is Carve. Why this is crazy good on this build, this hits in a cone in a damage over time, and it also gives you a shield. And so this stacks up quite a bit, and then you can get a lot of hemorrhage status on this as well with the bleed damage. Hemorrhage is a pretty hard-hitting status effect, so this is a really effective. You start popping this off with about 3 or 4 guys, and you're just not going to be in trouble at all. The Execute on here, Radiant Glory, this is awesome. It heals you. It does a shit ton of damage. It's easy to sustain on this build. With it being a stamina build, I chose this one also because it heals, and there's really not that big of a difference between the Radiant Glory and the other morph, but I would recommend choosing this one, especially for the night market. The healing is really nice to have. So next up is Unnerving Boneyard. This is my source of major breach and minor vulnerability on the build. This will consume a corpse to hit harder, and then if anybody's in the area, they can hit the synergy as well. But adding that major breach is just the icing, the cherry on the top for getting up and over the penetration cap. I need to update my build there. It's got double barred by mistake. I forgot to save my build. We'll just do that right now in the video. There, Fighters Guild is on the front bar. And the reason for that is to proc the Fighters Guild passives. So that you can get all the passives from the Fighters Guild and increase your damage. Back bar, we have Critical Surge from the Storm Calling. This is a god tier skill, probably the most powerful skill in the game for soloing. The healing that you get from this is absolutely crazy. Next up, also from Storm Calling, is Hurricane. This does physical damage and a damage over time. It also gives you minor expedition while it's activated, as well as major resolve, so it increases your physical and spell resistance by almost 6,000, and it increases your movement speed by 15%, and it does damage. So it's really strong for solo content. Next up from Dawn's Wrath, we have Solar Barrage. This increases all your skills on the build from the class skill lines by 5% while it's active. This does magic damage over time in an area. So if they are within 8 meters of you, they are going to get hit with that as well. And then next up, we have Elemental Blockade. This is, I believe I have a shock damage. Yes. Lightning Staff. So this will proc off balance if they are concussed. And then lastly, I have Vampire's Bane. This is also a damage over time hit when they get hit with the projectile. And then we have Glacial Colossus on the back bar to inflict major vulnerability. This is really strong when you've got a cluster of ads really chewed up. Then you can throw this on them and absolutely start hammering them with major vulnerability and frost damage and finish them off. So to go over a couple of other things really quickly, I am a dark elf, so you could pick pretty much whatever race you want to, but I like to use dark elves for DPS because they have both Magicka and Stamina maximums there with a unique weapon and spell damage, and then the fire resistance in here is really good because there's a lot of fire in this event zone. Make sure you have your medicinal use passive on your alchemy as well as your Gourmand and Connoisseur. But this is kind of a unique build. I've got a two-handed sword, or excuse me, maul on the front bar and then a destruction staff on the back bar. I've never really done that before, and I just wanted to try it out. But the idea I've got from this build was Azure Blight Reaper on your own is going to hit really hard on these mobs, and I have pretty much nailed it with this in terms of being able to chew through enemies in big mobs and groups. So I will just drop down here. Oh, I forgot to say, my Mundus is the thief on here, but I think I may end up possibly changing that to the Atronach to help with Magicka recovery. That's not something I'm locked in on. It could be an assistance there to kind of help with that. Yeah, it's mostly. I forgot to also cover the food and the potions. Let's see here. Candied Jester Coins is what I'm using for the food. That's a max stamina and mag recovery. That gives you 4,592 max stamina and Magicka recovery in the amount of 459. And then I just have tripods here. Really helpful to pop those on and keep your resources up. For the most part, I don't have a whole lot of trouble sustaining that. When I get fully buffed up here with the buffs, we'll just look at that. As you can see, I get about 5,800 weapon damage. If you add in Major Breach to the penetration, pretty much at penetration cap, just under 19,000 resistance. So a little squishy, I know, but I'm not planning on taking on any bosses solo with this. This is meant to just kind of run around and get through the area to get the side quests. I wouldn't recommend soloing the bosses in here without help. They really made them smack super hard, and they I would say that probably not a good idea to try and solo. So we'll drop down here and we'll give the build a little test drive here. I recommend pre-buffing everything you can before you approach a mob, and then start off with that. And then what you want to do is you got to watch out for that heavy attack from the firestorm. And as you can see, as long as you are getting everybody close and keeping your damage over times on everybody, You want to stay out of the firestorm. You got to pay attention to the mechanics in here. That's really important. When he does a heavy attack, you really want to make sure you pay attention to that. You can't just stand there and eat it in the teeth like this right there. You got to dodge roll, and then before he gets his whirlwind out, you can chew through that. Another neat thing I'm not going to pick this up, but this is a werewolf transformation. You can pick those up and have fun with that. I want to show the build in action basically. So we're going to just spam here while we got everything. There's the heavy attack. It was on my companion that time. So as you can see, the Azure Blight Reaper is really chewing through these guys. You want to make sure that you keep your damage over time on everybody that you can, so that they get blight seed stacks and they explode everything out. As soon as you got your Firestorm elite add there, just chew through him, and then you can pick up your favor. But as you can see, pretty easy to get through the area here. As long as you're not encountering a boss, you can just absolutely lay down AoE damage over time and just chew through these guys. It just, as you can see, the damage is just absolutely ripping through them, and they're dead in a couple of seconds. So now that we've got that done, I'll run back over here to the jump pad, get back up top, and we can look at a couple of the battle scrolls numbers here. So as you can see, there's a lot of dot damage, direct damage. They're kind of close, but the ton of AoE, as you can see. Carve is doing a ton of damage, but so is the Blight Seed. And then Gerences is also a really good one. But there's a ton of AoE damage in this, as you can see, 67.7%. Kind of a low crit rate. It wasn't really focused on critically striking with this. It was more of a just getting a lot of area of effect damage and then keeping dots on a lot of different things. You can check out a lot of different things, such as healing. As you can see, the Pale Order Ring healed me for a bunch there. You can track your effects with this. If you've never used the Battle Scrolls add-on, I've done a video on this. I'll link that in the description. But this is a really great add-on to check out what your builds are doing, so that you know what to. So there you go. This right here will tell you what type of damage you're taking. So if you want to slot a defensive CP, you can say, okay, 95% of the stuff I'm eating is direct damage, so you don't need to look at the damage over time. Right there, this will tell you what type of offensive slots to do, all kinds of stuff. But this is a really, really fun build. I've put it together last night and ran it a couple of times here before running the video, but this is makes it a lot easier to run around basically and get stuff done that you want to get done. But anyway, I'm going to close the video out here. If you thought this video was helpful or interesting, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. If this is the first video you've seen of this series, this is actually the third one I've done. I started out with a healer video. I will put the link in that video in the description as well. And I also did a tank video. All three of those videos, or those two videos and this build here, were all intended to kind of run around loosely in a herd, not in a group. And so they're kind of meant to do that in the night market, because it's kind of a little bit of a chaotic situation where there's just a lot of people just running around doing their own thing. And so unless you're kind of grouping up on a boss somewhere, even just like, I would recommend not even grouping in like this area here, so that your Pale Order Ring really shines for you. Just remember and keep in mind, anytime you group with somebody, it reduces the potency of this. If you're going to be in a big group, you may as well just take this off and run something else. Like the Velothi Mythic, you could put the Velothi Mage's Amulet on, and then put something on like a Reavening Blows. Although on this build, there is some direct damage, but not as much as like if you're running a beam build or something like that. But just a long way to say, check out my description. As always, I put a lot of stuff in there. Check out my YouTube channel if you thought this was helpful. I have over 300 videos on my channel that are all organized by created playlists. If you go to my YouTube channel and go down to the created playlists, that's where everything is organized by subject. Check them out and see if there's anything there that you might be interested in. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in another video. Bye.